Welcome back to Web Application Penetration Testing Training. In today's training, we would be looking at Web Application Information Gathering. Web Application Information Gathering. The Web Application Information Gathering is nothing but gathering some information about the web application before you do any kind of security assessment on it. It is one of the first and one of the most important part of application security testing. It helps you gather information about the target. It could be anything. It could be either the functionality of the application, it could be what technology the application has been built on, it could be what language it is using to build the technology, or it could be what kind of web server it is running on. It helps design our attack approach towards testing any kind of application. So, how do we gather these kinds of information? We can either use a search engine to discover or get some information about the application. We can fingerprint the web server. We can use websites like Netcraft to gather information about the particular host. We can also get some information by looking at the cookie value of that particular application. We can go through the HTML source code of each of the pages of the application and try to identify what technology it is using. Also, in order to speed up the process, we can use automated tools to gather those informations for us. Let's look at in detail in each one of these. The first one in the list is search engine discovery. There's a lot of information disclosure through these search engines. The first one in the list is google.com. Google is one of the most powerful search engines till date. It has enormous amount of data. Whenever we want to find anything, what do? We just Google. I want to buy a new car, I Google. I want to find a new restaurant, I just Google. So why not? If I want a particular information about any website, I can Google it. The Google search engine comes with certain advanced directives. Using these directives, we can carry out some advanced or customized search on its database for a particular website. Using Google, I can look at the search for the network diagrams, configurations of a particular website. I can look at various posts and emails by administrators and other key staffs of a particular company. I can try to search for usernames, passwords of a particular website. Also search for some error message content that it might be present in the Google database. The next one on the list is ShodhanHQ.com. The ShodhanHQ.com is an interesting search engine that lets the users find specific types of computers. It could be routers, servers that are connected to the internet using a variety of filters. Some have also described it as a search engine of service banners. Service banners? That's pretty interesting. Using the information that we get from the service banners, we can fingerprint what web servers it might be using. So let's look at ShodhanHQ.com and let's get a quick feel of it. So here we are on the ShodhanHQ.com website. Let's quickly search for demo.testfire.net. It's a sample test application by IBM. Let's see what we get. Okay, so here we got the output from the demo.testfire.net. So looking at this particular response header, we can make out that it is using ASP.NET language and it is hosted on Microsoft IIS 6.0 server. Isn't that something interesting that we wanted? Right. Okay, so let's do one more search. Let's search it on ebay.com. Here's the output. So considering at the various requests that we receive from ebay.com, we can make out that it's powered by PHP 5.1.6 and is running on Apache 2.0.59. So we got particular information that it's using Apache server and it's built using the PHP application. So using these kinds of information, we can gather some kind of information about the application as to what technology it is using and on what particular web server it is running on. These kind of information are anyways very much helpful in carrying out any kind of assessment. Coming back, so if you want to automate the process of search engine discovery, you can use these two tools. One is the Foundstone Site Digger and the other one is SearchDiggity Google Hacking Project. Both the tools are very much powerful and come with a large number of filters which can help you in extracting some particular information from the search engines, and you might get some juicy information about the websites that you're looking for. As I spoke in the earlier slide that Google provides some advanced search directives that can help you customize a particular search. In this particular slide, we have a site directive. So on the search engine, we try out the site directive. Site followed by the website name, that's google.com. If we give a search, it will list out all possible websites that is available in Google. It will list out the subdomains, like you can see over here, it's cloud.google.com, news.google.com, adwords.google.com. So if you're doing any kind of black box testing for a large organization, you may not be aware what all websites are under it. You can use the site directive to identify the subdomains or other websites that are hosted under the parent domain. These are few other search operators. The first one is file type. File type followed by, if you type it as file type PDF followed by the website name, then you can search for PDF files on that particular website. If you type PPT, you can search for PowerPoint presentations on a particular website. The next one is in-text. If I keep it as in-text SQL error followed by the website name, then I may be able to find out some database errors on that particular website that the Google search engine has captured. The third one is in URL followed by admin. In URL will help me search the URL of a particular website. This might help me in searching for the admin pages on a particular website. This is just a short list. The complete list and the guide as to how to use these search operators is available at www.googleguide.com. This is one more interesting search engine that stores all the archived pages of all possible websites. So if you wanted to see how Google page looked in the year 2000, you can feed it over here and you can search for it. So in the year 2000, it looked something like this. So this could be helpful in gathering some kind of information about as to how the website looked in the past. The next topic on information gathering is fingerprinting the web server. It is possible to identify the web server by fingerprinting the HTTP response that we get. So here are two sample examples. We capture the response of a particular website and we can try to see if we get some particular information. So if you see the HTTP response of one of the websites, you can see the server details. The server over here is Apache 1.3.23. Similarly, if you look at this one, this is the response captured from another website. Here you can see it's using Microsoft IIS Server 5.0. So looking at both the web server versions, it looks like it's pretty old. That is, this is 5.0 and this is 1.3.23. What we can do is we can search this particular information that is of Apache 1.3.23 on the search engine or any of the websites, and we can also get a list of the vulnerabilities that these Apache servers are vulnerable to. Even Microsoft, if you look at 5.0, it's vulnerable to a large number of attacks. So this information is very much helpful in any kind of security assessment. So let's quickly look at one particular example. I have my Mutily test application running. What we will do is we'll capture the response in Burp and try to identify the server. So I ran my Mutility application, I captured the response in Burp. What I can see is it's using Apache 2.4.10. I then went to Google and I quickly searched for this particular version to see if there are any security vulnerabilities. I visited httpd.apache.org and I found that the latest version available in the market is 2.4.11 and 2.4.10 is vulnerable to a particular security flaw. That is, it's vulnerable to denial of service. So that's pretty much how we can gather information about a particular website and see if there are any security flaws, maybe at the application or the technology or at the web server level. The next in information gathering is with the help of Netcraft. You can visit www.netcraft.com and you can try to do some fingerprinting online. So what I did is I searched for the website demo.testfire.net, and in the search results I got a lot of information. It gave me the IP address, it gave me the date when it was first seen, it gave me the operating system that it was running on. This is a pretty old one, and it was running on Windows 2003 server with the web server as IIS 6.0. The next one is cookie value fingerprinting. We can also gather information about what technology it is using by looking at the cookie parameter in the HTTP request. So if it's using JSessionID as the cookie value, it might be using Java. If it's using ASP.NET Session ID, then it's using ASP.NET language. Similarly, if it's using WP settings, it might be using PHP. And if it's using Django, it might be using Django Content Management System. So let's see a quick example of that. So coming back again over here in the Mutility application, looking at the application, I may not be able to make out what technology it is using. So I captured the HTTP request of the Mutility application in my Burp tool, and I tried to look at the cookie value to see if what technology it is using. So capturing at the request, I came to know that the cookie value is PHP session ID. So my interpretation would be that it's using PHP language for building this application. On similar lines, I can gather the HTTP request from other applications and try to identify what language or the technology the website might be using. We can also gather we can do information gathering by looking at the HTML source code of any kind of application. We might intercept the response maybe in a Burp tool or do a view source on a particular website. If we come across the meta tag with the content as WordPress, then it might be using WordPress. If it's body ID PHP-BB, then it might be using the PHP-BB content management system. Similarly, we can look at the content of various technologies and deduce or come to a conclusion that it might be using a particular technology. The last one in this module is automated tools. So if you do not have the time, or if you want to automate stuff of information gathering, you can try out a number of automated tools like HTTP Print, HTTP Recon, WhatWeb, Blind, Elephant, etc. These tools have complex filters that can help you gather information quickly in a short period of time. That's pretty much it on information gathering on web applications. Thank you.